And bingo. Yes, there we go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, funnel hackers. How are we doing today? Great to see you guys. Dante here. I'm excited to be here for what is our Training Tuesdays. Training Tuesdays. I'm really excited for Training Tuesdays. Training Tuesdays is an entirely new show. It's a whole new stream we have coming out. My name is Dante Torelli. Alongside me, we have our Master of Education, Aaron Oberdick. Awesome to have you, Aaron, with us today. Gang, we're so excited for Training Tuesdays. Aaron is a familiar face for our weekly watchers who have already been here. I am a new face, and I'm super excited to have the opportunity to work with Aaron on these streams. This is really something we're both very passionate about, and it's the doing of the thing. That's what Training Tuesdays is all about, gang. The doing of the thing. You might know me from the One Funnel Away Challenge, but if you don't, in our One Funnel Away Challenge, we have a phrase we say all the time. Presentation without demonstration is just conversation. Hit you with that again really quick. Presentation without demonstration is just conversation. And in Training Tuesdays, we are presenting and demonstrating. I forget my own phrase, don't I? And demonstrating. We're not going to be talking hypotheticals. We're not going to be talking theoreticals. We're going to be talking about features in ClickFunnels and then going into ClickFunnels and building and doing the thing with you in the moment. It's the whole vision of Training Tuesdays, and I personally am really excited for it. I geek out over these things. My big thing is I remember like yesterday when I was first learning these things. I remember like yesterday, the first time I was learning how products worked inside of a software so I could sell in mass to an entire region or location. I remember the first time I went through that. There was a big learning curve. I didn't have guys like Aaron walking me through that. So that's why I'm really excited to be here with you guys. And I'm excited to also hear from you as well as Aaron. We would love to know what you want to learn about. What have you hit a roadblock? Is there a feature or a class inside of ClickFunnels that you're just having a hard time connecting the dots? Maybe you just don't understand it for whatever reason. As we go forward with these, and specifically today, gang, if you have things you would like to learn about, we would love to know all about that. If you're with us in the stream right now, feel free to put it in the comments. But if you're watching inside of Facebook, put it in the Facebook comments. What thing do you want to learn about? Give us tons of ammunition here early, and we promise to make these into amazing shows that you are really, really going to enjoy. Speaking of amazing shows, today's focus is going to be all about products inside of ClickFunnels. So Aaron knows a tremendous amount about our products, what they were and what they are today. So I'm really excited for him to be there. Products are really important, Aaron, right? It's what the customer is actually going to buy. The price point that they're buying that product at, how much money are they going to be spending? And then how do we get that product from here into the customer's hands, whether it be digital or physical? So there's a good bit that goes into products, and to pass it over, I'm going to give it to you, Aaron. Let's go through some products together today.
Yeah, awesome. There's actually a ton to go through. So a lot more details about products than you'd actually expect. So let's run through it. Thanks, Dante, for the introduction. Happy to be here with all of you and educating each and every week on these Training Tuesdays. Now, before we actually get into the application of creating a product, I want to talk about how products existed within ClickFunnels Classic and how they've been improved and optimized in a lot of different ways. So back in ClickFunnels Classic, right, we had individual funnels, and you had to create products within each of those individual funnels. So what that meant was every funnel required its own product setup. You had to go in, you had to set the price, you had to set the payment gateway, you had to set up fulfillment details, and you had to re-enter this each and every time. So of course, this is very limited when it comes to global management. If you're thinking, if you ever wanted to update a price or a SKU, you had to do that funnel by funnel. And of course, let's say you have 100 funnels, that's a lot of time. So of course, ClickFunnels has optimized products in a lot of number of ways. Now in ClickFunnels currently, products now live within the section, and it's a centralized catalog that you can reuse across multiple funnels, your store, and other things. Each product is also a standalone asset now. So making updates to anything becomes universal. If you need to change the price on a product, you can do that, and it'll change across all of your funnels. And overall, there's just better.
Hold on. So I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember back in the day in old school ClickFunnels world, if I had, let's say I had a front end funnel and I had 5 front end funnels, I had to go make new products in each funnel. So what you're saying then is like products are global. There's one product now and I can attach it to 100 funnels with one click, right?
Absolutely. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I love that.
Yeah, it is magic, right? It's just better control with your inventory, your variants, your payment gateways. Everything lives under one roof. So, yeah, one change is a universal change. All right. So, with that being said, how do you actually add products in ClickFunnels? And this is, of course, high level here, but let's jump into it. Let's create a product for the very first time. So, ecom seems to be pretty hot right now, right? It's pretty standard. I think merch is also pretty hot, right, Dante?
Merch is pretty hot, man. It is. I'm seeing it across the board, and it doesn't matter if you are a strict e-commerce business or you might be an expert business where you're trading your knowledge for monies. It doesn't really seem to matter. Everybody is selling merch, and specifically hoodies. So,
Oh, yeah.
Aaron, as we get into it, I thought it'd be really cool. Could we use a hoodie as an example product for here for
Let's
this?
make a hoodie. Let's do it. Absolutely. So
Let's do
you can see I'm already in the application. So first and foremost, how do you get to products, right? It's going to be in the top left corner here, up in our core 4. And Dante actually coined this phrase for me, and I love to use it. So you have your core 4 up in here, and products is the second of the 4. Go ahead and tap that. If I click on all products, I'm going to be redirected to my products category now, or my product section, we'll say. Now I have a couple details here. I have my product name, so I can see all of them here. Then I have tags. So if I have any tags associated to those products, I can see them here. Then I have my type, so I can set a product to digital or physical. You can see I have some physical products already added in this account. And then I have visibility. So this is just telling me that it is live in my online store right now. There's also a customer center tag here. So if it was live within a customer center, you would see that as well. And then I can see inventory. So whether I have in stock or I'm out of stock and how many. And then price point, right? So that's, of course, very important. I can see all my prices to all my products there. And then, of course, I have my gear setting here that I can change and make any edits to.
Before we click into that, oops, sorry, Aaron.
There you
Before we
go.
click into that, I have a question. As I understand tags, it's
Yep.
kind of like a folder system, an organizational system. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. You can tag things to just keep everything as organized as you want. So you can really make it as detailed as possible.
So if I have like funnel A that is for business A, I can make a tag of like business A, and then all my products for business A I can put in there and just stay organized.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I think that's the perfect example. If you have specific products to specific funnels, you can set tags to them to make sure that you understand where certain products are located in funnels, in stores, wherever they may be.
Very cool. Love that.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about how to add a new product. There's a couple ways I want to talk about that. If I go up to my top right, we have our create product button, but you can also see we can add directly from Zendrop. So if you have Zendrop integration, if you're doing drop shipping, you can add a product through that. But of course, I want to create a product manually. So let's take a look at how to do that. If I tap create product, I'm presented with a window with a few options, right? Is this a digital product or is this a physical product? We're selling a hoodie. It's physical. Now, what's a good name for this? Well, I've already generated one, right? AO Performance Hoodie. How about that?
Heyo.
We love it. And then I've already generated a quick description as well. So I'll just go ahead and put that in there. And let's tap create product. Now a second window is going to pop up and it's asking me for a price. And there's a few different price points you can set. You can set a one-time price, a subscription price, or a payment plan. Now this is, of course, merch. I want to do a one-time price, so we'll do that. Dante, you have any ideas on how much I'm going to charge for this thing?
Well, I think if we're running a hoodie, it's got to be $29.95.
There it is. Let's do it. Set the price, and now I'm dropped straight into my product settings. So this is where I'm going to be adjusting absolutely everything when it comes to this specific product of this hoodie. Now, of course, My name and description that I just added is going to be right here at the top. We need some images with it though. So let's go ahead and select that. Now, ClickFunnels has your library. So if you've previously uploaded any assets, you're going to find them here. You can also upload them, but I've preemptively done that with a light gray hoodie. So let's select that, drop it in. And now I have a photo associated with this product. All right, let's move down a little bit and look at this section here. So pricing is really important, of course, but there's a couple different reasons maybe why you'd want to do multiple pricing, right? Of course, you can do it for upsells, for downsells. Maybe you want to do an order bump. So you can adjust pricing and add a secondary pricing here. So let's do this. $25.95. How about that? And now I have the option to choose whichever pricing when I drop this into, let's say, again, like an order bump, right? So if I want to make an upsell, I can do that with my discounted pricing.
Oh, and that's great too. If we're just like running a quick sale, you know, we're coming into Q4 for ecom, but even if I'm an expert and I just want to run a quick sale or a quick special, I can just change the price point inside the product instead of having to make a new product at a separate price point. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's continue on. I want to talk a little bit about this tax section. So you're going to see two fields here if I click the check mark there. And the first one is tax category ID. And then right below that, you're going to see a subcategory ID. So basically what this is, it's telling ClickFunnels that your connected payment processor like Stripe or Payments AI, what kind of product you're selling. So it knows how to apply the right sales tax automatically. So the category here is kind of like my big bucket, right? If I want a physical product, a digital product, or let's say something like an event ticket. And then the subcategory just narrows that down. So if I selected physical product, then I would select maybe something like an accessory or a collectible, right? Now, if I leave this unchecked, you can see that Stripe is automatically applying my tax. So this is not a necessary thing to do, but it is, of course, recommended if you want to just make sure that you keep all your ducks in a row. All right, let's talk a little bit about inventory, right? Inventory is exciting because we're going to talk about SKUs. I want to ask this. Does anyone know what SKU actually stands for? I feel like we talk about SKUs all the time. People know what they are, but does anyone actually know what they stand for? Put it in the chat if you know what it stands for. Dante, do you know what they stand for?
I am stumped.
It's actually pretty straightforward. Stock keeping units. That's it. It's very straightforward. So SKUs or stock keeping units, I had to look that up before this presentation, admittedly. They're just unique identifiers to help you track inventory or sales. So this is really good even for small businesses. They're just really useful for staying organized. If you want to manage reorders and just quickly identifying which items are performing best. So what merits a good SKU system? The way I like to format it, and I think most people format it in this sense, is business, then product, then color, and then size, right? So those four things in that order. So here in my SKU window, I'm going to go ahead and do that again. So business, if you see there in my bottom left, I have AO athleisure, which just kind of fits the hoodie aesthetic. So I'm going to go AO for business. Then I'm going to go dash. What's the product? We got hood. So hoodie. Then I'm going to go color. So this is gray, GRY. And then size. So small would be S, medium, M, L. Now, of course, we got to set the sizing in the variance, which is directly below this. And I'll show you how to do that. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and set S for small. So this hoodie is AO, which is the brand. And then, of course, the product, which is hood. Then color, GRY, then size. So small.
Awesome.
Just really want to nail that down because I genuinely think SKUs are really, really important to stay organized. I'm an organization freak. I love to stay organized to make sure I know where everything is. So I'm going to hammer home SKUs and just how important they are.
And you won't find a warehouse manager out there that doesn't agree.
All right. And of course, this is a physical product and I am shipping this. So make sure that this fulfillment required check mark is checked. And that's going to open up some additional settings here. We have our manage locations. You can set this all within our workspace settings so you can make sure you know where you're shipping from. You can also set your quantity, how much inventory you have, right? So if I have, let's say, 5 of these products, I want to make sure that I set that. That way, when someone goes and purchases it, it directly takes one away on the back end, right? And I can always know how much quantity I have available. And then, of course, also you can continue to sell out of stock, just a quick check mark there. But right below is this a physical product? And I really want to talk about this because this is, of course, continuing fulfillment, but more into shipping. So there's a few different ways you can set up shipping. You can do with total cost amount, or you can do by weight. And I prefer weight. I think it's a little bit more true to a shipping cost, right? Like the shipping providers, they typically ship by weight. They're not determining what the amount of your products are and basing it off of that. So it's very important that you set the weight and it is true to what it is. So I totally 100% verified weighed this hoodie here at my house, and I know that it is 0.8 pounds. So just making sure it is definitely 8 pounds or 0.8 pounds there. And then the country of manufacture, this is also important. I'll go ahead and set the US because that's where I'm based. All right. And Dante, I just want to check anything additional here in the inventory and shipping before I continue.
As you highlight that, I'm just thinking back to the past. This is a massive improvement to the product structure. And I really just hope everybody understands this. Back in the day, we would have a product, a new unique product generated for every funnel that was selling that product. You know, and when it comes to selling products, it might be the second step in one value ladder, but the third step on another. There's so many ways to sell our products. And now we have one global centralized place. How amazing for inventory tracking, right?
It is true.
Back in the day, Aaron, I would have to use my SKUs and I would put where you put business AO, we would put like business -1, business -2, business -3, because each new unique product I made in a new unique funnel had to have its own unique SKU. So now I have like 18 SKUs for the same product, all connected to my 3PL in the back end, and it's a nightmare. It was brutal. This is great. I'm really into this right now. Keep it going. I don't want to slow it down.
Totally. Global management saves so much time. And I really want to emphasize that. So let's continue on. Let's go to this next section here. We have purchase actions, right? And of course, this is going to actually be more associated to digital, but not limited to just digital. So if you purchase an action and maybe you need to give them access to a course or a community, you can do so by linking here. And this is, of course, going to redirect. So if I actually click on it, it would send me somewhere else. But this is, again, where you set up your external resources if you need to send someone with a purchase action.
So these are actions that are tied to the purchase of the product.
Correct. Yes. So if someone, let's say, purchases this hoodie and I have an action where I'm going to send them, let's say, a landing page with a video telling them all about how amazing this hoodie is. I can do so with that action through this.
Or I'm a coach that when you buy my hoodie, you get access to my secret course or my private community or right. Okay. I'm getting this, Aaron. I'm getting this.
Picking it up. Yep. All right. Let's continue on variants because this is important. I just set a product with a color. And what if we want to create that product in multiple colors, right? So I'm going to go ahead and check mark this and let's select something. There's a few different options, right? Of course, if you have material size or if you have a customized option that you need to distinguish, you can set that. Let's go ahead and put color. And now I can add gray. I have a few other colors. Let's add red, blue, and green for good measure. Go ahead and tap done. And now I have 4 of these, right? Let's go ahead and tap. Nope, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. I think I need to save this before I get into it.
Save the product. You're right.
Okay, I was going to say, there's something that's supposed to be popping here, but I think we got to save it before.
There's a whole bunch.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and tap that. Up.
I think it threw an error at the top. What was that?
Oh, yeah. It's the tax category. It's giving me.
Oh, nice. Well, you should be able to just choose anything for this example.
Tangible goods. All right, let's update it again. Okay, and it was successfully updated. So we'll deal with that in a second. But I want to swing back to my, did it
I think,
save?
yeah, it just didn't save because of that error. So I think you'll have to make the variant structure.
Okay. No problem. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Color again. Bear with me, people. Sorry about that.
That's live demos, right?
Hey, that's what we do. All right, perfect. And save. And now there it is. All right. So I wanted to preemptively do this because up in my SKU section, I put light gray. Where are we at here?
Oh, it's just moved down into your variant SKUs now.
There we go. Okay. Okay. So we have our variant SKUs, like I was saying, the gray here. So we have AO, Hood, Gray, S. Same concept here. So if I just copy and paste this, now I can simply do something like this: red, blue, and green. So I really wanted to show how simple that was. It was a little rough around the edges, but that's the idea with SKUs and changing the variables and variants of SKUs. It's very simple. And once it's set, it's ready to go.
Awesome.
Yes. All right. So let's continue on now that I've sat on SKUs for just a minute there. We have SEO and sharing. So this is really important, right? If you've ever shared a link to a social platform, right? Maybe you copy the link, you paste it into the URL or the bar. What it's going to do is it's going to populate, and it's going to have an image. It's going to have a headline. It's going to have a paragraph of text. What that's basically saying is all of these SEO and sharing options is what that is. So if I tap on my edit SEO and sharing, I can see I have my title, I have my description, I have my image. So it's very important to update this, because if someone shares your product as a link to social, you want to make sure that it's appearing in the best way possible. It looks visually appealing to people. They want to click on the link, and all the information is readily available to them in a post. So again, really, really important to make sure that you're updating your SEO and sharing, because if someone's sharing your product, you have no idea maybe, but you want to make sure that it looks great when they do that.
Absolutely.
All right. And then the very last section here is going to be related to actually sharing this product with other people. So I can create a framework and add this singular product within that framework. So that way I can share it and other people can import this product directly into their ClickFunnels workspace. So let's say, you have 100 products and you want to share that with someone else. Add them all into a framework, send it directly over, and it's saving them so much time.
Speaking of saving times, let me just throw a wrench in everything here. How about we give away this product, Aaron?
Let's do it. Yeah. I mean, we're setting it all up. It's going to be ready to go.
Let's do it. Let's turn this into a framework and let's give this to all of our funnel hackers. So gang, if you would like this product, whether you're currently selling products like this, or you might just want to have it to hold on to in the future when you're ready to use this. If you guys would like this, I'd like you to just type hoodie. How about that? Just type hoodie in the chat. If you guys are here with us in StreamYard, feel free to put it in StreamYard, type out Hoodie. But if you're watching in Facebook, just type it in Facebook, put Hoodie in the comments, and we'll be rocking and rolling. We're going to get this wrapped up, tied up in a nice pretty bow, and then we'll send it over to you shortly. So go to your comments in your Facebook post and type Hoodie.
Absolutely. Last thing I want to touch on.
Yeah, let me get myself out of there. Please go ahead, my friend.
No problem. The last thing I want to touch on before we wrap this up is going to be back at the top on the right-hand side. There's a few settings. And the first one is going to be sales channel visibility. So this is really important. When you are live and you want to set this product live on your shop, you need to make sure that you toggle this on. Otherwise, it's not going to show up anywhere in your shop. It's just going to be in draft mode or test mode. So you want to make sure that you toggle the product on if you want it to show up in your online store or, of course, your customer center here. Now, right below that is your organization. So as we mentioned at the top with tags to keep everything organized, maybe you want to say which funnels or which products are in what funnels, set the tags here. And then collections is right below that. Collections are like categories. So think of things like bestsellers or products under $50. That's what collections are for. And we're going to be talking about everything next week related to collections. So if you want to kind of learn and compound off of this product, make sure that you stop by next Tuesday because we're going to be talking about that. And then the very, very last thing is this advanced settings window here in the bottom right. This is really for people who want to add any additional custom code to their products. If you have knowledge in that and want to do that, it can be done so here.
Awesome.
All right. So
there's just one question I have. I know we're getting up on 3 o'clock and it's like, holy cow, you talked about products for 30 minutes. It's crazy. But I saw something as you were going through. Can you click on description for me, please?
Absolutely. Right here.
And then I see AI popping up there. What's that?
Oh, yeah. So, of course, we have AI broken into the system. So you can easily have AI create your descriptions, your titles at a drop, right? So let's just do this. Let's just write product details. This is Napoleon. Napoleon's my best friend because Napoleon helps me with everything. It is... If you want to simplify your life, just becomes friends with Napoleon and ask it questions. It's going to give you answers. So let's have Napoleon write me. We'll see what it gives us. Look at that. It's probably even better than what I came up with.
Wow. It's got the name of the product in it and everything.
Yep. It understands all of the information I've already put and associated with it. And it's going to take that and give me the best description possible.
Come on. Make my life easy, Aaron.
Yep. There it is. All right. Any other questions before we wrap this presentation up, Dante?
Well, now that we're here, and we do have 2 more minutes. Okay, now that we're here, Aaron, I'd be remiss if you didn't show me now that we have the product made, how do I add it to a funnel?
It's easy. Let's head over to a funnel. Right. Let's go. Maybe not the best funnel to do it in. You know what? Let's go ahead and just create a new one. Let's use a product launch funnel.
That should work.
Yep. We'll drop in this first template one.
And do. This should not take long at all.
There it is.
Oh, jinx.
All right, here we are. So from this, of course, we're here in our funnel template. I'm looking at it. Of course, I want to go down to this product launch video page right here. I can tap on these 3 dots and I can extend this page and you can see add products is right here. So I can literally come straight into a funnel without even going into the page. I can just come to the editor here, add products, do it again. And now it's going to start pulling from my products category. So you can see the 4 previous products I've already built. I have my hoodie here. I can simply select it. It's going to drop it in there.
Right.
And now my product's already in my funnel. It's literally that easy.
And then, of course, global products. So if I have other funnels to add these products to, same steps, correct?
Correct. Same steps. Very easy. So like we had talked about at the top with Classic, you had to go in and individually add every single one. Now I can just go into the funnel. I can pull from my products, and it's very simple. It makes life much easier.
I like that, my friend. Hey, there was one more thing I just thought of that we should probably touch on. When it comes to your products, we have a carousel element in ClickFunnels, right? So do I is it my product images that work with a carousel? How does that work?
That's a great question.
Well, it's funny because I have the answer for that. When you add your products as an image, or excuse me, when you add your images to the product itself, when you add the product to the page, all you have to do is add the carousel element. And that carousel element automatically and dynamically takes the images associated to the product and puts them up on a carousel. Aaron, if you don't mind, can we go back to your products really quick?
Yeah, of course.
Let's go to that hoodie product specifically. Lovely. The first image that you put down on the product is the one that's going to be highlighted in the carousel. Like, if you don't mind, Aaron, just add another image, any color of that hoodie. Lovely. Great. And you can see those other images are smaller. Yes, and you can flop them around and swap them around to make whichever one highlighted that you actually need. Absolutely. That's just wanted to point that out for everybody. When you add the product, the images of the product here, they automatically and dynamically add to that carousel element.
Absolutely. I appreciate you showing that additional detail. With that being said, I believe that's everything I wanted to show in products. I already know we're 2 minutes past the time, but with that being said, right, products, I just want to give a quick recap here, right? They exist in a centralized asset area instead of being funnel specific now, and they connect directly to your checkout pages, your automations, and membership access. All right, next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about collections. So we're going to be talking how to group your products, how to organize them, and just easier management for storefront setup. So with that being said, thank you for your time. Dante, thanks for spending the half hour with me. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Awesome. Take care, everybody.